YouTube. Okay, so I'm doing an update today. I'm gonna touch over a few different things. Few people have some questions, and I just want to make sure that I'm clear on the mindset that you need in order to do this style of investing. So let's just do a portfolio recap because I did invest and I deposited and invested some money today. So my portfolio total market value is $54,301.63. Currently, I have a margin loan out for 4.31% of my portfolio, $2,340.97. I know in a lot of my videos that I mentioned that I don't usually go over 1,000 or 1,200, but I have some events that are coming up, so I had to pay for a few different things, but I will be getting this under 1,000 by September 1st or the 3rd. Can't think of which day I get paid right now. So what did I add to the portfolio? I brought VXUS to 100 shares and I put the rest in VTI. As of right now, I think moving forward, this is not financial advice, nothing like that. This is just what I'm doing. I think for the rest of the year, I'm going to be adding strictly to my VTI position. I think that's what I'm going to do moving forward and try to get VTI to maybe 50 shares before the end of the year, which is probably highly doable for someone like me and my income. So, and the way I live, very frugally. A few people keep asking about these cryptos. These are free. I'm not going to sell them. They're free. I keep them, and yeah, that's just that. Like, I don't endorse, I don't use, I don't trade, I don't sell. They just Robinhood give them to you for free as a gift, and I'm just going to keep them. Whatever with that. So as you can see, I got paid and I deposited $3,186.54. And, I'm not saying that a lot of people are at different ages watching these videos. I'm not saying the average person is going to be able to invest this much of their income. I made the video the other day about me investing $6,000 new dollars every month. And someone, said that's not even realistic. But it is for me in the way that I live. I live very below my means. I'm not out and, I don't know. I don't necessarily think someone can teach you that. That's going to have to be something you're going to have to sit and really just look at where your life is and say whether or not you want to do something different. That's all I got to say with that. So my withdrawable cash, as you can see, $21,808.43. This margin available is the withdrawable cash that I would have if this margin wasn't used and if this instant deposit had already cleared. But as you can see, just so people understand, it's 21,000. What I view this as, I want to break it up, right? So I want to say like 5,000 of it is my emergency savings. Another 10,000 is my savings, and that's 15. And maybe another 5 is the first wave if it's an emergency. I mean, I kind of break it up like that because it's like that, like me using 10,000 of it is just highly unlikely because there is no real emergency between now and the next time I get paid that I think would ever really warrant that type of borrowing, honestly. And I'm not worried about keeping the loan open for an extended period of time because of how much money I have in VBIL. Anyone watching this can run my portfolio in any simulation of a market crash from 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 70% crash. And you'd see with this much allocated into VBIL, I'm pretty much cushioned from a margin call or any type of liquidation like that. So let's talk about if someone only had $5,000, could they do this? Probably not. I want to say to even begin to do this, first of all, your bills have to be extremely low. But not only that, you have to have a very specific mix of ETFs, which I can only recommend the 3 that I use. If somebody wanted to simplify their portfolio into just 2 tickers, I would say you can swap out VTI and VXUS for VT and just do VT and VBIL. That works too. I'm not against that combination. That's probably the only other combination that I would do. It's probably the only other one I would do personally. But I like to have control over the allocation of my international and U.S. exposure. So that's why I do it this way. Not just because of, the old 3-fund portfolio. Like, it's a 3-fund portfolio, but that's not the reason. I prefer to have control over the allocation. So a lot of people talk about, savings and, just put your entire savings in VBIO, not financial advice, but then you get to use half of it, essentially at the lowest risk, and when you're borrowing against yourself. A lot of people keep asking, how do you pay off this loan? You make new money, and the dividends that you get paid help you buy back the margin that you use. So if I get $150 in dividends, $200 in dividends, and I got this out, and it's the day I get paid, and I'm finna go invest, and the dividends hit, that difference, whatever my dividends pay me, is going to immediately be taken off of my margin loan, and I'm going to pay the rest. And the difference between what my stocks paid and what I put in is the amount of more money that I'm going to be able to invest, because that's the less money that it took me to pay off the margin loan that I had out. Now, again, I'm making this video. I'm going to keep making them. I'm not sure if people understanding exactly what I'm saying, but I'm trying to make this as simple as possible. When you're I had a guy tell me he worked at Chase Bank and he wanted to go to Charles Schwab and talk to a professional. A professional will not know how to do this. They won't think it's logical. They're going to think you're going to get margin called. If I get margin called, I would make the video. But will I get margin called? Probably it's highly impossible. I hate to say something is impossible when it comes to finance, but it really is. I'm never using 10%. I'm never using 20%. I'm never using 30%. As you can see, I'm actually doing something right now, and I'm still under 5%. I'm under 5% of my $54,000 portfolio, and every 2 weeks, not every 2 weeks, but every time I get paid, I'm a commercial truck driver. Every time I get paid, I'm bringing in these type of paychecks. So my last paycheck was more than what I have out right now. It's like not even, I would have to get, I can't think of an actual scenario between now and September 1st or the 3rd that I get wiped out. Like, what happens in the world for that to happen? But anyways, this is the buy, borrow, die, how to be your own bank, how to have a line of credit against your stocks. I think it's maybe the margin itself, that name, that brings the stigma. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna just keep making update videos every time I get paid, so y'all can see like just the progress over the months. As you can see from my first video, I think I dropped it when I made my first portfolio reviews at 50,000, and a few videos later, I'm almost at 55,000. I'm a couple $100. Well, next time I get paid, I'm probably gonna be at 55 or 56. So just stay tuned for the videos. I'm gonna keep pushing them out. Just look at what I'm doing and kind of like get into one of the AI tools, put it together, the ETFs that you like. I recommend 3, maximum 4, and go all in on what you want your anchors to be and what you want your growth engines to be. And I'm not against the dividend ETFs. I just don't see the point in them, because you're giving up upside. I want as much growth as possible. And when the market crash, I want to be able to buy my, ETFs for a discount. So that's how I look at it. But, like I said, just, like, comment, subscribe. And I appreciate everyone who is watching these videos, man, because it definitely, I wish somebody would have explained it to me without all the selling the course and dividend ETFs, covered call, closed funding. It's just all type of bull crap that people doing. When you first starting off investing, you need to be figuring out a way to make more money to invest, not get better returns. Make more money to invest, not get better returns. 10% of 100,000 is a whole hell of a lot better than 10% of 1,000. If you talking about you want to have your money making something. It's no doubling in the stock market. You're not gonna put in 6,000 to get 12,000. You're going that's gambling. You got lucky. That's not something to count on in as far as the stock market. And anyone who says otherwise is basically lying to you. So that's how I'm ended. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video, y'all. And I'm gonna drop a next update, and just keep y'all tuned in. Thank you.